fine, thank you. What about yourself?
Well, it's Friday and the sun's shining, and as soon as we're finished, I'm going to sit in the garden.
Nice.
Yes,
That's a great
absolutely.
idea. I was thinking of something similar, but not to sit, but to go for a walk. Like yesterday, you saw, you responded to my story,
Yes.
but to go to a different place because it's not far away, but another beach also really nice. So yeah.
Yeah, lovely. I'm not walking, I'm going to be sitting.
That's fine. Well,
Is it only me?
yeah, I was just gonna say, should we wait for more folks? Because I haven't seen if they haven't confirmed if they're coming, and maybe they haven't received the email with a time change, so I don't know if we should wait for them.
I think better we start because we don't know if they even got the email. We are starting half an hour earlier, so if they
Yeah.
come at the time we agreed before, like it's fine. I mean,
Yeah. So I wanna start with behind the scenes announcement, little changes.
sure. So should I cover it?
We can vote, whatever.
Okay. What do you prefer?
I mean, you can start. We can both cover it.
Sure. So there will be a couple of more changes in the community. Nothing that affects you in any sort of way, members who are already inside. These will be minor tweaks. I mean, minor in terms of existing members, but huge for us when it comes to acquisition and new members coming in. So there's one, I can share like a story. We were going back and forth, me and Mio, when we were creating the very first offer around this, and some offers also before. I remember having this conversation. And basically, like, I think when you're a marketer, it's normal that you go straight for urgency, scarcity, and so on. And usually I see posts like that where basically I have to say that because it's really funny when there's nothing in the post but urgency and scarcity. It's like they're pitching something. Maybe there's a big promise, some crazy promise. Like make 900 a day and like available in the next, 24 hours for whatever, 3 people. And like that's it. Because so we all have that tendency. What about scarcity, urgency, start hitting those buying triggers, right? So that's the one of the first things. So of course I told Mio and I started coming up with ideas how to do that. Then he told me he thinks it's better. We went back and forth, obviously. He told me he thinks it's better we do kind of like whiteboard webinar. We didn't really do a webinar, but the idea is we both learned this from Dan Henry. What he would do when he does a webinar, first he calls it whiteboard webinar because he's not adding any bells and whistles and all the stuff to the offer, but just like a whiteboard explaining what it is, like what's the outcome, how it solves your problem, and to see if people would buy without using all the other buying triggers, bells and whistles, and so on. Like, so it's really testing the offer, because if it works like that, then you're gonna have easy time selling it later once you start adding the other stuff, right? And so we thought, obviously for us, the biggest difference in our journeys were lead magnets by far. Creating an ecosystem around lead magnets, hence the initial idea about the ecosystem, right? But the lead magnet is literally like a sun in the solar system in the business. It gets leads, depends what kind of leads you get. Like I heard Hormozi say, great leads need great lead magnets. And that's such a great way to put it. So you can get better people, buyers, action takers, more committed, etc. if you have a great lead magnet. So you get them in, but also it's there to help you convert them, pre-sell them, sell them, convert, etc. Right? So obviously Mio, he can cover, but he had the first, he was just telling me like 10K a week because of one, and then later made 60,000 with a single lead magnet and like all kinds of good, great stuff. And funny enough, my kind of like epiphany bird story about this whole thing is we were doing something together back end of 2021, and he decided to go on a vacation. But we haven't finished that project that we were supposed to do. So we'll do it after he comes back. While he's on a vacation, I see one person joining his, and I'm working, mind you. I see one person joining his program, like his assistant announcing that person joined, whatever. Then I see another one, like within few days. And I remember I started thinking, like, because at the time I had a coach I was paying a lot of money for, and he was advising me to do solely coaching. And then he was advising me to acquire clients, get them in solely using calls. Like that's the best way. Like just offer a call. So you just messenger, qualified, whatever, right? All that stuff, and then offer a call. And when I saw him make 2 sales while he was like, I don't know, in Malta or something, whatever at that time, or maybe that time was Malta, but whatever. I thought this is what I remember telling my wife, this is what I should do, because I was actually at that time really, I got good and I went full time online using this. So I'm super grateful. And I moved here to Spain and all that by doing all one-to-one. So like Messenger, apart from content, obviously. So Messenger, all obviously one-to-one, video DMs, audio, video DMs, calls, all of it was one-to-one, right? So every sale I made was because I spent a lot of time with that person one-to-one in some form. Or maybe not a lot, because if it was a call, you basically spend 30, 60 minutes at once. So that's you collapse the time, but all one-to-one. So when I saw that, I realized that those people are buying because they're going through his thing, which was a lead magnet, and they're getting pre-sold, sold, even like they're buying, they're closed. He doesn't have to do it because I know he wasn't active. Like he was totally inactive at the time. Like even we didn't really talk. Like he just turned off everything and he's told everyone now to talk to his assistant. But his assistant doesn't close deals. Like, so those people bought just themselves. And I thought this is definitely a skill I should like work on. Obviously, I knew about it from Steve Larsen and Russell Brunson. I was like in love with those guys and stuff and whatever. And of course, I knew it would take time, but I thought it'd be good to work on. So that was, let's say, beginning January 2022. I released my first proper lead magnet September 2022. So mind you, that's 9 months later. I was studying about it the whole time. I remember watching Russell's Perfect Webinar Secrets, like, or starting to watch 30 times, or starting over because I was like, I didn't know what I was watching. Nothing made sense. And anyhow, so September I released the first one, and then that one started working and so on. And later I used even for like launches and everything. And basically everything later I sold through all my high ticket sales came, or almost all, through lead magnets from that moment. So it's been this September, it will be 2 years. So that I didn't have to do manually one-to-one. I don't know how much work, messenger or call or video DM, whatever. And so it was huge for both of us, right? And we thought, okay, this is definitely something, we never sold that, we never taught that, as you know, we mentioned that. So we thought, okay, let's do, when I suggested this about urgency, scarcity stuff, we wanted to test first, do people want this, right? Like, can we prove, make sure that market wants this? And this is how you can test, right? So if they want a lead magnet, they will for sure want our process, how we do it. Because lead magnet is really general term, right? You can be anything. There's so many different types. There are many different ways people do it, what they're trying to achieve with the lead magnet, right? And there are so many different factors about it. And so now we know that people do want it, and that people are willing to invest. People vote with their wallets, right? So they're willing to invest to learn how to do that the way we create them, right? But we have our own unique way of doing it, right? Like we all do certain things, right? What we have learned in meantime, tested, some things didn't work, something, all the trial and error and experience and so on. And so basically now, and this is a great lesson for all you guys, since you can be here and watch, because usually we would do this obviously behind the scenes. You wouldn't say this publicly. Later, people see, like, I show my things from Kajabi, like to wave awards I won, but the point is, like, the program, I won the awards from Kajabi, the 10, 50, 100K awards. That program is called MCI, which is Messenger Control and Influence. But initial idea, first beta group that bought it, it wasn't only about Messenger, and it was MCI, but it was Mass Cache Influx. That was the original name. So this is a great lesson because people don't see that from outside. Later, they see an offer working well and resonates with them. They want to buy, invest in it. They feel like they need that, so on. And they think, how did you come up with that, right? And it's really testing feedback and figuring out what the market wants. And so what we're going to do, long story short, what we're going to do now is we're going to tweak messaging when it comes to around our process, how we do lead magnets. It will make more sense to all of you guys, because there are a lot of people that chase views or add a lot of people or get a lot of followers or whatever, any of those, like what people say, vanity metrics. But as Alex says, I heard Hormozi say, even people who say likes and cash, they still count their likes. You know, it's hard not to get into that, right? But we have built like multiple six-figure business. Like together, we did over $600,000 with, for example, Facebook groups that are, my group is now like 600 people. And I think yours is still also under 1,000. So it's extremely small. And most people have at least that kind of following of, if not even bigger. So it's really knowing how to convert those followers, how to get those who are buyers in your audience, and then how to convert them. So like I said, lead magnet is like a huge umbrella. There's a lot of things under that. But the specific ones we are using in the process that all you guys will be getting is how to then, from that following, how to activate those who are buyers, to explain why they need your thing, get them to see, right? Influence them to take the next step without pushy, salesy tactics, anything like that. And then how to convert them, obviously, and how to turn them into repeat clients, because we have so many repeat clients. So in a nutshell, that's
Basically what he was trying to say. Lead magnet accelerator is too broad, right, as a term, and we find it a bit difficult to market. So we are in this tweaking process, and we wanted to tweak messaging, positioning, and name. So as he said, like everything remains for you guys, like we still teach you the same stuff. Just on the outside, we are changing the name and we are changing how we promote it. Because like one of the things that you maybe already figured out, but you will figure out, is that usually you want to have like unique vehicle, as Russell says it, like unique mechanism that you present, like what is your thing, and then selling the thing that sells the thing, right? Like when Russell started promoting ClickFunnels, he wasn't promoting ClickFunnels, he was selling you on the funnels first. Like you need to believe that you need funnels in your business to sell you on ClickFunnels, when it was a new term. Mind you, it's not anymore after 10 years. But point is, we don't want to call it like lead magnet accelerator, because some of the feedback we got is people come with this preconceived notion like, oh, I know what lead magnet is, I can create it myself, right? Which, yes, they can, but as you guys, well, watching replay and Leslie here, but as you guys probably know, and girls, knowing how to create lead magnet and creating one that will attract the right people, pre-sell them and convert them are two different things. Like anyone can put, I don't know, PDF together and be like, oh, I have a lead magnet, and no one wants it, or it never gets them buyers, right? So we ran across this problem and we were like, well, we don't want to just name it lead magnet, right? Like we need better name. So we're just going to change the name from lead magnet accelerator to follower conversion accelerator. So we're just changing the lead magnet name basically. and we're adding unique mechanism, how we call it. But again, doesn't influence you guys on the outside, but it's a good lesson on how you like package, position things. It really matters, right? So also here's another thing that we're doing, because people are so used on term like lead magnets, we're gonna call them most likely acquisition assets, right? So because that's what they do, right? Like it still makes sense, but it's not. You know how when you say webinar, like my thought in my head is like, okay, that's 2-hour presentation when someone is trying to sell me, right? So
Or for Leslie challenge.
or for you
When
challenge,
she
right?
hears challenge, she's like out.
Exactly. So many people have this lead magnet idea that is like, oh, I know what it is. Like you challenge, and for me, like webinar. So that's why we're just changing the name a bit, so it's easier on the marketing side. But again, nothing changes for you. So we are still, well, it changes. We need to re-record the videos because of the name change, but everything else is pretty much the same. You'll still learn how to craft lead magnets, how to get people to want them, how to convert these people, and all this good stuff. So yeah.
So what's the new name? I didn't catch it, or didn't you say it?
Follower Conversion Accelerator.
Okay. Great.
Because like a lot of
Because-
people have followers, right? But they don't know how to convert them. So it's like follower conversion accelerator. It helps them like convert followers into leads and leads
Yeah.
into buyers, right? So that's kind of like the idea. And they
Yeah.
do this via lead magnet, right? And the promise is, I don't know if it'll change it, but for now it's gonna be like how to get 10 buyer or quality leads every week, right? That's kind of like the promise for the community.
I think
Sounds good.
I think by hearing these two explanations, you can see who's the salesperson.
Well, I think that's just my what's it called? Like I don't even know how to
But you
name
got the message across.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, just different ways. But yeah, basically, so many people, and we hear this all the time, and I'm sure you see it, where people are even in. I've seen people now, marketers, coaches, etc., invest in like some viral hacks or some, so they're trying to get even more. But what does it matter if you have 2,000 followers now or 5,000, and you want to have what? How many? 20, and you're not making any sales with 5? Well, you should tweak something there first, right? And most of them have buyers in those 2,000. I mean, it's impossible you don't have any. You just don't know how to get them first to see you as an authority, to trust you, why they need your thing, to communicate that what you have, etc. So yeah, so our conversion accelerator, because of that, makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that, definitely.
Yeah. So you see, we already got feedback. It resonates.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, do you think I should mention, or it's too early, the stuff about potential options for them to? So it's just an idea stage, but to have option to also earn from the community.
What do you mean?
It doesn't matter.
I didn't understand the question either.
No, I was asking him. So you.
No, I know you
obviously it's
were.
internal. Then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll say when it's time.
So we also wanted to give some feedback on the lead magnets and also answer some questions.
Yeah.
If there, I don't think I saw any questions submitted, by the way. Let me check. So there were just these two that we wanted to go over anyways, from Leslie and Rob, but other than that, I didn't see any.
We can cover those.
Yeah, I meant, I was like, there aren't any additional ones that I've seen. So this was from Leslie. I skimmed through this. Let me just remind myself. If you have it on top of your head, Steven, you can start. I just want to remind myself on this.
Can you share the screen?
I did.
Oh, you did? Why don't
Yeah,
see?
I can see it.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay.
Here's the doc. So, okay, let me ask you this. Oh, you with this, you just want to invite them to the group, right?
Yes, that was my first. And it was really, I promote OLSP.
Okay.
And OLSP, of course, is all funnels and technology,
Okay.
which where I am in OLSP is the majority of it is done for me. But most people are not going to come in at that level, as much as it would be nice to have people buy the high ticket. A lot of people have bought the $7 Kickstart. I mean, you can't find people who are not in OLSP these days.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I mean, I need a new program. I need an organic program to promote, because OLSP is not the right product.
Mm.
You can use, I don't know if you have MCI, but CMS, MCI, like you can use those.
I've got CMS, but I needed to speak to you about that.
Because also it seems incongruent then to me. Because your backstory here, you're talking about wrestling with technology and being stuck because tech was holding you back and so on. But in the end, your end goal, yeah, okay, they joined the group, but then they buy $7. But then from there, you want them to buy the high ticket, which would be tech.
Unless you want to change the product, right?
Unless I want to change the product, which I do, because I can't deal with the tech. I mean, despite the fact that I'm VIP in OLSP and it was all meant to be done for me, I'm still having to learn mega builders or high level, the software, building the funnels and doing all of that. And I have a coaching call on a Monday, and I struggle with it. I replay and replay and replay. You know, and I'm not saying that funnels are not good, because I think in the right environment, funnels are good. But I'm not ready to go down that route yet. Now I can sell the $7 high ticket, the $7 entry level easily, because that is all set up, all done. Nobody has to do anything other than post a link and build their brand and use Facebook organic. And the majority of people who have bought the $7 are not doing that, despite the training is in there to tell them to do that. But there's no point going to those people, because they've already cookied to somebody else.
I'm a little bit confused. So, but what are just the part about most of them are not doing it?
Most of them are not using their Facebook profiles.
And that $7 thing, they teach how to use Facebook?
They do. Yeah, it's all there. But, you know, it's human nature, isn't it? So many times people pay for this stuff and then don't look at the training that goes behind it.
Yeah, of course. So they don't take action, basically.
Well, no, I'm seeing where a lot of people are commenting and saying that they're not making a sale. There's nobody clicking on their links.
Those
You know,
are
yada, yada, yada.
They do nothing and they're like, yep, no sales for me.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, come, like.
I mean, I'm doing so much and I'm not getting that many sales.
Yeah, seems like I mean, I don't mean anything bad, but like you said, seems like they got, like, that's the tricky part with affiliate programs like that you're basically shrinking the market with each sale, right? It's getting smaller because there's more people coming in, and there's that compounding effect, because you get one person in or two, those 2 get 2, that's now 4, those 4 get 2, it's like exponential. Yeah. And
And you
its
know,
own market, basically.
yeah. And Stefan, when I joined OLSP, it was very different. We didn't have that $7 entry. It
Okay.
was much more expensive. The training was more extensive, and it was more sales and marketing. Now it's all about just getting leads into the program. And that's not what I signed up for. I signed up to learn skills that I
Yeah.
could take away and sell any product.
Makes
That
sense.
can be a really good epiphany story. That can
Yeah.
be good angle, and you have a sea of leads who
Already there.
who will probably resonate.
Yeah.
So the way I would frame it, like I would literally explain what you're going through, what you hate about it. Because guess what? If you hate it, there are a lot of other people too. And I would talk, I mean, obviously I wouldn't bash the program, but I would bash the, like, I don't know, beliefs, the problems you run across, what you hate, what you don't like, etc. And I think that would attract the right people to you, and then you can sell them whatever you decided, right?
Yes.
And you are VIP, so that's awesome. So that means you have access to all the paid groups.
Yes, I do.
That's awesome.
And I've had high ticket sales through OLSP. I've had various high ticket, and the only high tickets I've earned is the 6,500. I've sold the 6,500 product,
Wow, nice.
but that's a lot of money for people to spend. They're not, you know. I understand that it's easy. If you can sell a $7 product, you can sell a high ticket product, but at 6,500, it's not as easy.
Well, 7 in high ticket is not necessarily true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just high ticket marketers who want to sell you high ticket that tell you it's the same. Like, why sell 7? It's the same everything, right? But anyone who knows anything about sales process, right, will tell you it's completely different.
Yes.
Like completely different.
Yes. Well, I spent 5 months talking to a guy, and I never thought, and I was emailing him. I mean, we've talked about everything from driving on the left side of the road, that he was in the military, that he's the word is slipped. I can't think of it. But 5 months of chatting to this guy in email, and I was at the point of just giving up, and then he bought.
Wow. But
I
5
mean,
months is a lot
incredible.
of work.
He bought VIP.
Yeah. So that's the 6,500.
Yeah.
But you see the difference between $7
Yes.
and talking to someone for 5 months by email about everything to buy
Yes.
6,500. That's exactly the difference. Imagine the amount of trust he had after 5 months of such, right?
Yes.
That conversation.
I mean, he actually sent me an email and proposed that I moved out to Pennsylvania and spent 4 months with him and his wife, teaching him everything I knew about OLSP.
Wow.
I mean, I was shocked when I can't do that. I've got 3 cats and other things going on in my life, and which he totally understood. But the fact that he put that offer over.
Yeah. That's the problem with that approach. It's not scalable.
No.
It's very hard to spend so much time, because what I was saying at the beginning of the call about my epiphany when it comes to having these acquisition assets, right? When I was doing everything one-on-one, I mean, I wasn't spending that kind of time with one person, but like it takes so much time, right? And you have only so much, and then
Yes.
everything's one-to-one. So
Yes.
like, okay, I'm talking to 3-4 people seriously, right? Or whatever. And that takes a good chunk of my time when I'm online, when I'm in Messenger,
Yes.
right? So it's not scalable.
No, and I totally get that. I mean, in the reality of it, to send a little email with a little bit of conversation in 4 times a week was not a lot of time. It probably was only 40 minutes a week.
But
But
that's
I
still a
don't
lot
have,
of time over 5 months.
yes, and I don't have that time now.
Makes sense.
So
But you
it
have
was an
great
interesting
source of-
learning experience.
Yeah, of course. But you have a great source of leads then in that program already. You are in every paid group.
Yes.
So, you know, you had success with the program. Like I bet 99.9% of them never sold any high ticket. Over 90% for sure never sold a high ticket, and probably almost 99.9 never sold $6,500 thing, you know?
Yeah, the ones that are doing it are the elite students,
Okay.
and one-to-one students.
So, okay. And what, how much is that? Is that the 6,500?
Anything above 15, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's quite an investment.
Yes.
I mean, they better be closing $6,500 deals. Because
Yeah,
even at that
they're
rate, you need quite a few to just get your money back.
yes. But I had one of my high ticket buyers, she upgraded to elite and then she stopped working.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I got my commission before she stopped working.
Mm.
But I didn't
mean-
have anything to do with that sale. That all happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's awesome if they're learning, like you said, skills that they can use to promote anything. If it's specifically only how to get leads into that program and you pay $15,000 for it, I would say that
Not
can be
fun.
considered expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're basically changing the entire strategy, right? Like you are pushing people to the group and you want to sell something else.
Yes.
So then you need a, would this attract, say if your ideal avatar is then someone who struggled like you, like maybe people who are also overwhelmed in OLSP, would something like this attract them?
One of the reasons I picked this particular subject was people who have joined my group already. I've got 4 people that are sitting there telling me that they're struggling to get leads. And I thought, well, if I've got 4 people who've joined my group to get leads, how many more people are out there? Now, since I put this together last week, I've had 2 people contact me in the DMs telling me that they are struggling to get leads. I mean, one lady was only today told me that she's doing A, B, and C, and she's an affiliate for a number of products, and she's not getting any leads and not making any sales. But when I look at her profile page, she's not really doing anything.
Is she aware of it? That's the reason.
Well, yeah, I haven't replied to her yet. I was waiting to see what you guys were going to say to me about my lead magnet.
Yeah, so I mean, this would, like, your lead magnet as it is good, but I need more data like you're giving me now to give you better feedback. So, okay, they're aware that they lack leads,
Yes.
and I would maybe keep that part, but I don't know if they would resonate to this part. Building
Okay.
targeted audience on Facebook. Like, do they use those? Like, it's really important when you, I mean, create literally anything from content to lead magnets, etc., to use the words, the phrases, and everything that your audience uses and thinks and feels, and they resonate with. Like, okay, maybe they wake up and they're like, fuck, like no one wants my stuff, I want more leads. But I don't think a lot of people are like, oh, I need to build targeted audience on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I would just tweak the headline. And then that said, I would make it all, if you are really sure, okay, it's about leads, I would then make all of this about leads. Like how are you getting targeted leads on Facebook or whatever word on Facebook, right? And with that said, maybe you don't need to mention, I mean, you can mention tech, you can tie it to leads. You can say that you wasted so much time and energy on tech and tech is not bringing you leads. Like you can even make an argument. I remember using this argument when I was selling Facebook organic, like tech, funnels, all this stuff are there to automate the process. But if you don't have the process that's already bringing you like leads and sales and whatever, like what are you automating? Like what is the tech for? So you can make just that short argument and then tell them to actually get leads. You need to first know where they are. That would be like number one. And then you can explain to them, you put it, join relevant groups. So I'll maybe put this before, I guess you're targeting affiliates, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they already have a program. So based on the program, they should know the people and the places, right? So if they are selling X, based on what you're selling, here is where your ideal avatar, here is who they are, here is where they are, and here is where you can find them. So I would frame it like to generate leads, like you need to know who they are, how they look, etc. You need to know where they are, and you need to know how to communicate in a way that they would resonate with it and that you can attract them, right? So like maybe broadly speaking, I mean, I'm talking from top of my head. So these are
Yes.
like top 3 things I would say. And I would revolve my lead magnet. If you think the most interest is about getting leads, I would make it all about that. Like the headline, the promise, the 3 steps, if there are 3. If you come up with more, you can say more, but like 3, 5, those work well. And maybe you can name then my simple 3-step process I'm using to generate I don't know, some cool name leads and make sales. I've used actually, so I think that works really well. Like the 3-step process I've used to repeatedly generate leads. I don't know if you want to mention on Facebook. You can test with or without, like on Facebook, and turn them into sales. And then you can start with like saying that you wasted so much time and energy on tech, that it wasn't working, whatever, and that you actually realize you only need 3 things and you actually used only 3 things, and you can mention some results there. Like I made high ticket sales, I generated leads, you can put some screenshots and stuff. And then this is my 3-step process for generating leads on Facebook. Number 1, find where they are. You need to, like if you're adding random, now I don't know, this is another thing, like you want them to resonate. So if they are marketing on Facebook, then they're obviously probably going to groups and adding people, right? But if they're not, you need to tweak message to resonate with them.
Yes.
Now,
You know, I've been amazed how many people don't know where to look to find their audience.
yeah, that's why I think the biggest interest for my lead magnets was Group Genius Blueprint, because
Yes.
it's like how to find Facebook groups where your ideal avatar is. A lot of people
Yes.
like message me for that. They really
And that's a brilliant name.
yeah, Group Genius Blueprint. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I bought Alenka's stories program, and through that I joined her group, and I listened to a video that she did this week, and she was talking about how to find your avatar. And I have to say, after 18 months, I got a light bulb moment from what she said. But it's taken that long, and I have sat in so many sessions listening to people, seeing coaches showing you how to go into groups and what to look for, and you know, it's not that simple when you, I mean, it is simple, but it's not that easy when you're starting out,
That's true.
you
And
know.
like, you also
And I
have
think the
18
problem,
months
with
of-
all due respect to you guys, I think you forget the struggle that you probably had right at the very beginning when you were trying to figure all this out. Because sometimes I feel like I am so confused in my own head that sometimes I don't know which route I'm going down.
yeah, that's
Does
called
that
the
make
expert
sense? I
curve.
mean, I don't know. Maybe I overthink it. Maybe I complicate it a little bit for myself. But I see so many people struggling.
Well, there are quite a few things there. One
Yes.
is uh, uh, that's why we are all unique. It really depends. Sometimes you hear maybe even the same thing, but with a different story told, different analogy, and that resonates with you, you know? So there's that. So we all resonate differently with different people, their stories, and so on, their
Sure.
epiphanies, and so on. That's one. Another thing, when you say a lot of people struggle, that is true. And I see, I mean, a lot of people. But the thing is also, this is, how to say, like as Alex says, I like this, like Hormozy, he asked, people were mentioning how they're struggling with something and it's really tough and this and that. And then he said, okay, so did you think making money online from your home, from your computer, from your phone would be easy? You know, and of course they all say no. And then he says, well, this is what hard feels like. Like you expect it to be hard, right? You just didn't know how it feels like. This is how it feels like. So
We just didn't know what the hard was going to be.
exactly. So it takes time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a
Yeah.
lot of effort. And a lot of times people put a little bit of effort. Even if they're consistent, it takes iterations. I cannot be putting the same thing over and over. Even if I'm watching videos and learning or being on coaching calls, I see that happen a lot. You know, like what they say, it's repeating 1,000 times the Bruce Lee quote. Don't fear the man who did like 1,000 kicks, different kicks, but the man who did one kick 1,000 times. Now, there's a great guy, like modern day philosopher called Naval, and he says it's 1,000 iterations. You know, so it's like, okay, I got feedback, this doesn't work, then I tweak that, improve, then I try again. So that takes a lot of effort. And a lot of people, like you mentioned with OLSP, a lot of people don't even try. The ones you said, they have the training, they have everything, but they don't even use Facebook, you know. But they will, a lot of them will still ask or say this doesn't work, or it's a scam, or, you know, why am I not making sales or whatever. So I'm not saying everyone's like that. Obviously, that's one,
Of course.
right? They're different. But then next level is, okay, I post a little bit. I've seen this. Maybe this is the biggest chunk where people test, try like a little bit. You know, I put a few posts, I spoke to a few people and so on, and then it didn't work. And basically, I don't think it works. You know, like, I think that's the biggest chunk. And then they pause or they disappear a little bit, then they're back, you know, they take time off, they, you know, and so it takes a lot of, I mean, a lot of reps, quantity, like getting to that over and over, seeing, testing. And the faster we do that, we're all afraid of failure. It's only normal. I mean, unless you're like Gary Vee or something, everyone's afraid that I've seen. Like, so the faster we can test and put ourselves out there and do that and fail, the better.
Yes.
Faster we improve. But a lot of people have all like mindset issues with that, right? They're not willing to, you know, it happens, right? Like what they're, you know, they don't feel themselves good, or what will others think about it, or, you know, it's very hard not to be emotional about it, right? But we should
course.
be, you know, and then it's easier to, yeah. So there are many things. It's a really high income skill to know how to promote online, to get leads, to get eyeballs, to get people interested, to get them to see the value, to position the thing, to see why they need it, want it, so on, to, you know, get them to act, take action. Like those are serious skills. And so it takes time to learn those skills. Mia was publishing for years before he like made first sale online. I mean, maybe he wasn't promoting initially anything, so he couldn't make, but he was there and he was publishing. Like he talks about that a lot. Um, So a lot of people don't go through that. So yeah, but again, there's also that you might, like you said, this clicked. You heard Alenka say something. This clicked, so could be like her story, analogy, what she went through, and resonate more. Epiphany. Obviously, the way she said it, maybe it's a unique way that just resonated then because of that. but could be also that it's like how to say, missing piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, I
Yes,
was
it's a
gonna say
culmination of information.
Exactly. You already consumed a lot. You just couldn't put everything really together,
Yeah,
right? And then you hear this one information and things click.
yeah, I would agree that that's what it was, definitely.
Yeah. But
Because I don't actually mind putting myself out there. I mean, it was like doing the lead magnet. The quicker I could get a lead magnet in front of you guys, the quicker I could learn more.
absolutely.
And I found, at least for me, like my most successful students over the years had this trait. Like they listen to what I say, they put in action like you did, they request feedback, then they listen to feedback, then they implement again, and then just repeat that process. Steven, you remember Tracy? She was really good at it. I remember she
Yeah.
started working with us every day. Like we had other, like all members paid like multiple four figures to work with us. She was the one that was the most, like every day she would send me the entire, like she would write 500 to 1,000 posts, send me for a feedback. I would like review it, give her feedback. She would apply everything. She would send me again, and like doing that every day. She made 5 figures in like under 3 months, a bit under 3 months.
Yeah.
But she had that like diligence. She was like listens to what we have to say, applies it, asks for feedback, applies that again, puts in the action, and does so consistently. So I really like that you already took the action, already are getting feedback, and
Yeah.
I'm like, when you get the feedback, you'll make some adjustments, push it again, test it, etc. But yeah, so I was gonna say I would make it if the main feedback you've been getting so far is like I like leads. It's also important if they use precisely the language. Yes, you can just use that language. If not, you can tweak it a bit. But I would make all this about like leads, like how I generated. I mean, I already told you, not to yourself. You can have backstory and you can be like, here are my 3 steps that I use to generate leads on Facebook. Or again, if they're not using Facebook, you don't need to say it. To generate leads on Facebook, um, to and to make affiliate commissions, whatever. And then you walk them like you can talk about tech, as I said, frame it like you don't need tech when you're starting out, blah blah blah. Actually, it might be too soon for you, like it was for me. When I removed that part, things finally clicked. All you need are, or all I needed. Try to use I more than you, because when you say you, people feel like we are preaching too much. But when you say I, it's like, okay, it worked for last, like no one can argue that. So you can say like, here are the 3 steps that really worked for me, that I used, that brought me like leads and sales. And again, if you can add occasional like screenshot, picture, screenshot of commission, screenshot of someone saying they would buy whatever, when relevant in the lead magnet, it would make it even better. And then I would break down the steps like, okay, you need to know who you target, you need to know where they are, and you need to know how to communicate with them. And then I would like share story, examples, and explanation in each one of these. And then CTA can be like, every day, every week, I'm sharing more stuff about how you can generate more leads in my free Facebook group. You can check it out. I don't know what you promote. If you are going to promote CMS, you can also say like, or if you want to see like one of my mentors did, like a $7 program where he shows his process for finding exactly the right Facebook groups to find your ideal avatar. You can also check that out here. So you can also like copy the same dog, the same lead magnet, and have 2 different CTAs and see which one converts better. One can be like go to the Facebook group, and the other one can be like check this blueprint out. And that's it. So
Yes, the one that checked the blueprint out could be for the people who are already in the group.
yeah, that's a very good idea, actually. That's a really good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, those are my thoughts on this. Because other than that, when I just saw this, it was good. But when I asked you questions about, okay, who this is for, what you're promoting, then I would still make the changes that I would have known had you not given me the feedback now.
Okay.
Did that
Right.
make sense, everything that I said? I know it was a lot. Obviously, there will be a replay. You can like
Yeah,
rewatch.
I'll go back and review.
Yeah. Expert curse. I sometimes like, yeah, of course, everyone understands what I say.
So tweak the title. I keep my introduction.
Okay, let me just check that. Have they heard a lot of this? People throwing rocks at ads and funnels. Were they really exposed to this messaging? Do you know?
I don't know. I put that in there.
Yeah, I know, because I've been using that like from 2020 literally. So a lot of people were exposed. So if they were too, they might be like live challenges for you. Like, oh, I heard this a million times. Like your brain literally cuts off. When I hear things that at least that's for me. I don't know if that's
I
because
don't think these people have been around for years.
yeah, but a lot of people ever like I was one of the first people to throw rocks at funnels. It was forbidden back in the
Okay.
so I was one of the first to initiate it, but then a lot of marketers, especially on Facebook, started using like, you don't need funnels, you don't need, well, you don't need ads they were using before, but you don't need funnels weren't used. Now all of that is used a lot. That's why I said, were they exposed to that messaging? Because if they were, I wouldn't necessarily say this, but you can share your journey instead of saying like, I would literally frame this in first person, like the entire lead magnet.
Okay.
I would be like, uh, I was sold on this idea that I need to create all these funnels and these follow-up systems and blah, 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 blah. But what I didn't understand at first is that funnels and all these systems are there to automate stuff. And the thing was, I didn't have anything to automate. So I spent all this like time, energy, money. You can be specific there to show the pain. I spent this much money. I spent this much time trying to figure this out. There was really a good thing that you mentioned. I would watch the replay multiple times to try to get this thing, like to make this funnel work. And those funnels weren't even working for me. And then I realized like I don't need all this stuff. Like I should actually focus on like things that would like prior to automation so that I have what to automate. And I realized that on Facebook, all I needed was like the right people in my audience and them exposed to my content, whatever. And then you can slowly like make transition into like your epiphany. Like I realized I only need three things to generate leads, and I want to walk you through it in this doc, or I don't know if you're gonna turn it into PDF, whatever. I want to walk you through the three steps that I figured out for myself that worked really well, and hopefully they may help you in your business. So the first step, the first thing I realized was this: you can give them like cool names, right? Like insert this thing and then you go into it, make sure it has explanation why the thing. Maybe you can add one story and maybe you can add a result, like how that thing worked for you. And then you have a second thing and the same, like explanation, story, result. And the third thing as well, and then some conclusion and then CTA at the end. And optional, but I would say really good. It might take you like 20 extra minutes. But what I would do, I would also add a video. You can use Komodo. I don't know if you have it.
No.
It's free. There is paid version. I actually recently started using paid one, but it's free. And unlike, it's literally like Loom, just unlimited. Like Loom has that free limit to 5 minutes and 20 videos. This is unlimited. Like you can record for an hour and you can have 1,000 videos for free.
I have Loom.
Do you pay for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can get the same thing for free. Anyway,
Okay.
or you can just record Loom if you want to use it. But I was gonna say, after you create a lead magnet, I would use Loom or Komodo, whatever,
Yeah.
and I would record myself just walking them through in the video, and I would put it at the top of the doc. Like, hey, if you want to watch the video version of this, you can check it out here and just do Komodo video. And then, because I don't know if you watch Hormozy, but he says, like, for example, his book, he has it in 4 formats, and he says that people equally consume it in all 4 ways. So he has readers, like the physical book, he has Kindle, he has it on podcast, like audio, and he has video course. So the more ways you give people to consume, like maybe I prefer, excuse me, watching over reading. So I would maybe rather watch a video than read, but someone else would maybe rather read than watch you. So if you have both, you'll have more people consume, basically.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's like an extra tip if you want to record it for them. Sorry, losing my voice.
It would definitely
Okay.
be better, yeah.
To record, Stefan.
Yeah, yeah.
It's optional, you don't need to, but you can.
No, I understand. Yeah.
It would help, that's for sure, yeah. It can only help, I mean.
Yes. Well, I know sometimes when I'm reading something, I have audio as well.
For example, myself, I prefer to watch. If there's a video, I'll watch first. I might read, I like reading, but if there's video, I'll play video first immediately.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I prefer now. I spend so much time watching videos, it does my head in.
Well, I'm sure all of us will spend way more time. There's way more time ahead we're gonna spend watching videos. We're not gonna stop.
Yeah. Do you have any questions on this?
No, I think I know what to take away and tweak, and I'll resubmit it when I've made the changes,
Of course.
just as well as the weekend coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Anyone else has any questions?
Pass the mic.
But yeah, we'll submit this recording. You record this on Fathom, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any questions unrelated to this, Leslie?
I do have one question. I have my link in my intro on my Facebook page. Would I be better taking my links out and just putting my Facebook link, group link?
And what link is it there now?
I've currently got the mega link from OLSP.
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, is it generating you sales? But you want to stop promoting it anyway, so maybe I would
Yeah.
go for the group.
All my sales from July, I got 17 leads and converted seven of them into sales. All came via that link.
That's interesting.
But it's only $7 link.
Yeah. I think I would prefer to funnel people to my group, honestly.
Okay.
Especially if you're changing what you're selling,
Yeah.
then it would make sense to change it to the group one.
Okay. That was it.
Awesome. Thank you for joining, Leslie. I do have to go now.
Thank you for the feedback.
Mostly welcome. Awesome, folks. Well, I guess chat with you on School and Messenger and Telegram and so on.
Absolutely.
All right. Talk later, y'all.
Awesome.